Hey everyone, welcome back to today's video. Today is Saturday, October 15th, and today is election day. Today is the day we get to choose which mob will come to Minecraft, so we're looking at the electoral map one last time to make our final predictions on who will win the 2023 mob vote. Now let's get some of these safe states out of the way. First, we're going to give the Armadillo to Alabama. This is because their tough shells are resilient, just like Alabamians. Now we're going to give a cold state to the Penguins. Now, Alaska is actually too cold for many penguins to live, but I still think it is very on brand. Next, we'll go to the swamps of Louisiana, and we're going to have a first win for the crab over here. Now, of course, somebody's got to be a contrarian, but they're off the map just like Alaska, so they can bond over that and also vote for the penguin. And of course, with their famous crab cakes, we got to give crab to Maryland as well. Now, while things aren't looking great for the Armadillo in the safe category, we're going to give its first likely to Arizona. Now, some say Maricopa County actually voted for the tough golem last year, and that would have thrown the entire Electoral College out of whack, but they seem pretty unanimous on voting for the Armadillo this year. With another coastline win, we're going to give Florida to the crab here. This one seems pretty obvious to me. They seem pretty happy with their shellfish governor. And with similar adaptability, we're going to give the Armadillo to North Dakota. Alright, now onto the tilt. We're going to give the first tilt to another coastline of Mississippi. Even though they come from the desert, I have personally seen that armadillos are a big fan of grass, which is why I'm going to give them to Colorado. Now, the penguin's been left in the dust here, but as we move up north the United States, we're going to give the penguin to Indiana here as well. Moving through the Midwest, we're going to see a similar trend and give the Armadillo to Kansas and to Missouri to make a nice little line here through the middle of the United States. Now, crabs are actually the oldest contender on the ballot today, with crustaceans coming in from 542 million years ago from the Cambrian period. That's actually only 3 years younger than the current Kentucky senator, so we're going to give the crab Kentucky. Coming in with Great Lakes and a cold climate, we're going to give Michigan the penguin. Now, the penguin still has room to win, but they are not doing well. But if we want to get a really good look on how America feels about the mob vote this year, let's look at Nebraska. Their first congressional district is going to vote for the crab. Their second congressional district is going to vote for the Armadillo. And the third is going to vote for the penguin. As you can see, Nebraska is completely split, but Armadillo is definitely favored. Now, the second most unforgiving wasteland in America is going to be a very resilient mob, so I think Nevada is also going to vote for the Armadillo. They've had some push for penguin, but ultimately they're trailing by 3 points. Now, keeping up with the coastal powerhouse here, we're going to see Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina all vote for the crab. Again, we got this amazing power belt here. It seems I've made a devastating mistake. I'm actually going to move the penguin to the real Indiana over here. Iowa, in fact, is going to vote for the Armadillo, which makes a lot more sense looking at the map here. Look, man, there's a lot of states. They both have eyes in them. And up north, once again, it's cold. We're going to give Maine to the penguin. Staying up north, we're going to give the penguin to New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. And with this northern draw, we're going to see the penguin actually surpass the Armadillo. While the map may look red, the electoral votes are currently going towards the penguin. The only thing saving the crab is Florida. Alright, the most unforgiving wasteland is also going to get the Armadillo. Now, with this Midwestern pull to the Armadillo, we're going to see Oklahoma get bullied. I think the penguin actually has very good pull here, but I don't think voters are going to turn out. They're very ashamed that they want the penguin. And it makes sense, right? The penguin doesn't drop anything. It only makes their boat faster if it's in the water. And ultimately, to these Midwestern states, it does not stand up to the Armadillo. So voters are very ashamed they like the penguin. And the biggest beneficiary to this bullying is going to come from Texas. You know, they're the one that created this line between the Crab Coastal Service and the Midwest Armadillo pull. And with that, we're going to see the Armadillo pull ahead. Now up here, have you ever been to a beach in Oregon? It's freaking depressing. You know, in Twilight, when they go to the beach and everyone's sad and one dude has a freaking jacket on, even though you're at the beach, you get there and you're just like, what? Okay, what now? It's boring. It's cold. It's freaking cold. I get cold at California beaches, let alone Oregon beaches. And you know who would love that crap? A frickin' penguin. And while we're at it, we're going to give Rhode Island to the penguins too. Again, we got this huge cluster up north here, really with the cold weather. Penguin is also the smallest mob, and I think they can identify with that. Keeping up with the Midwest, South Dakota is going to vote for the Armadillo, but not as hard as North Dakota, and so will Tennessee. Shaking hands with North Carolina. This is right here. The people that live on this border are really getting along on this. They're very torn. It's mostly the coast that is full on crab, and the Midwestern part that is full on Armadillo. And of course, what desert state is not going to vote for the armadillo? We see a very solid turnout, and I wouldn't be surprised if it extends to Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, though Montana might be a little cold for the armadillo. Speaking of cold, let's go to Vermont with the penguin. The frick is Vermont? There it is. But still south of the divide, Virginia is also going to go with the crab, keeping up with its coastal brethren. Washington is cold enough for the penguin, arguably worse than Oregon, my gosh. Now let's address the elephant in the room. We have one more big hitter left on the board here, and that's California. Now, as we divide California into the north, the middle, and the south, we really see different conflicting opinions, but sadly it is still one big state, so we have to give all of its electoral votes to one party. And while there is a strong push for crab down in the southern districts, we're actually going to give this one to the penguin. Finishing off the Midwest here, we're going to see Idaho follow its southern friends and vote for the armadillo. Wyoming will vote for the armadillo as well, and Montana, actually. Again, penguin is strong here, but armadillo is stronger. Alright, now let's get into the final swing states, the tilts. And it's still anyone's game. 99 electoral votes will push any of these mobs to the leader. While these northern states get pretty cold, we're going to see Wisconsin side with the armadillo. And breaking away, we're going to see the crab go to Minnesota. Now, I know this decision may seem controversial, but I really think they want to use that extra reach of the crab claw to capture this part of Michigan. And, claim it for their own. Same with Illinois as well. We're going to give that to the crab. It's really going to box in Indiana over here. We forgot to fill in this patch over here, but Arkansas is likely going to go for the armadillo as well. And I'm actually going to give it to Ohio. Ohio's kind of the black sheep of the eastern states here, and I think they're going to stand out for that reason. But Penguin's not done yet. They're going to take whatever this is and whatever this is. West Virginia and Delaware are both going to go for the crab, securing this crab belt, but it looks pretty dire for the crab here. Unfortunately, they're not going to make it to that magical number of, 200-ish that you need. It's 270 if there's two parties, but there's three parties. Honestly, I thought Connecticut was a city in New York, not a state, but they're going to go for the armadillo. Be a little contrary to their pact over here. I can't even tell if DC's on this map. Where'd it go? Anyways, they're voting for the armadillo too. Now, everything comes down to Massachusetts. It's anybody's game here. Of course, it's on the East Coast, so it means it could go for the crab. That wouldn't really change anything. The armadillo would eke out a win at the very end. But they could just as likely vote for the penguin with all the states around them. It would be fairly out of character for them to vote for the armadillo considering how apart they are from the Midwestern pole. But for the purposes of this prediction, I really think they are going to vote for the armadillo. It's going to be a close race. It doesn't make any sense for them being up there. And while it is anyone's game, I really think Massachusetts is going to vote for the armadillo. Eking out a win at 299 to 284 to 153. Now with this assessment, the crabs really do way worse than we were predicting, right? We thought they would be neck and neck with the armadillo, but no, that was in fact the penguin. And I really think we just underestimate how large the fan base for the penguin is, even though it doesn't have the most utility. It is still the cutest one there, and I think to a lot of players that's what matters. But the Q factor is ×2 for the armadillo, and I think that's what gets Massachusetts. Not only do you get a roly-poly type of mob, but it also makes armor for the dog. And that cuteness is really what took over the Midwest, and what I think will finally win over Massachusetts. But ultimately, you guys are the ones on the ground, so let me know in the comments which mob do you think your state would vote for in the Electoral 2023 mob vote. Thanks for leaving a like on this video, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching.